Welcome, everybody, to the first ever Sports Gazette World Cup preview. My name is Jackson Fuller. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to have coverage for you all day today, Monday, with Group B kicking off. England, Iran at 1 p.m., USA, Wales at 7 p.m., and of course a big one, Senegal, Netherlands at 4 p.m. Let's introduce you to the lads joining me today. To my furthest, Andrew Smith.
Hello, I'm Andrew, proud Irishman abroad. Pleasure to be here.
And right next to me, the hottest takes in all of football, Kieran Roy.
Hello, great to be here. I'm the token English fan.
And I will be supporting the US of A this month at the World Cup. Very, very pessimistic about our chances. But anyways, before we get going, I just want to be completely honest with the viewers because that's the type of person I am. We're recording this on a Thursday. It's coming out on a Monday. We don't know what's happening in the Ecuador-Qatar World Cup match. A lot can change. Obviously, a lot of controversy. Maybe the World Cup's not even going to happen on Monday. But this video will still come out. We've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 key burning questions that we're going to answer for you guys today covering the World Cup. And let's start with an easy one. Andrew, what are you most looking forward to about the 2022 World Cup?
Well, I'm just looking forward to the football, to be honest, but in particular, I'm looking forward to cheering against England in England. Obviously, being an Irishman abroad, it's going to be a good experience for me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just hoping that England absolutely fail miserably.
I love that. Kieran, what about you? What are you most looking forward to this World Cup?
I'm actually looking forward to the lack of football, in specific club football, because currently, as a Chelsea fan, watching club football is a very painful experience, and I could do without that for a month.
I feel you there. Kieran and I are both Chelsea fans, and we desperately needed this World Cup break. I'll have to side with my good friend Andrew, my good lad Andrew, rooting against England, and England is going to be an absolute delight. But if I have to pick out one more thing, I think Messi and Ronaldo's last ride at a World Cup. Maybe they play in 2026 as kind of token gestures for their country or trying to get some American exposure, but this really figures to be the last time where they'll have an impact on a World Cup. Okay, Kieran, let's start with you this time. Next question. What group is going to be the most fun to watch?
So I've gone for Group F, which is Belgium, Croatia, Canada, and Morocco. Morocco maybe less so, but they have got a new coach, and obviously they've got Hakimi and Hakim Ziyech. So they might, I don't think they're going to cause too much of an upset, but they might be interesting to watch. But mainly the other three teams I think will be very interesting. Belgium, is it the last chance for their golden era of players? You know, Vertonghen and Alderweireld are still playing. They're pushing mid-30s now. I think Vertonghen's actually 35. But Mertens getting on, Hazard as well. And obviously De Bruyne, Lukaku, they've had some amazing players, and it's a shame they've never done anything really special with that team, but this could be their last chance. Croatia, obviously finalists at the last World Cup. They've still got a very strong squad with Kovacic, Modric and Perisic, among other very good players. I think they'll put up a good fight. And Canada, this is their first World Cup tournament since 1986. But they actually topped the CONCACAF qualifiers.
They got lucky.
I looked at the table. I don't think they got lucky. Obviously, they've got Jonathan David, who's a very exciting striker, and Alphonso Davies from Bayern Munich. I think they'll get out of the group, and I think it'll be a great thing to watch.
No chance. But Andrew, what about you? You're the group you're most looking forward to watching.
I'm going to go for Group A, which obviously has Qatar, Senegal, Netherlands, and Ecuador. So I think everyone is kind of interested to see how Qatar perform. They had the Aspire Academy, which was initially set up to try find athletes in all sport, but since they got the hosting of the World Cup, it was predominantly put onto football. So it'll be interesting to see what they can bring. As a Liverpool fan, I can't wait for Senegal and Netherlands. Van Dijk versus Mane. It's going to be an interesting dilemma. I've done a preview on Senegal, so I am kind of rooting for them to get out of the group. Should they finish second, which will probably be the most likely formality, they'll play England. So here's hoping. And not much to say about Ecuador really, is there? The former West Ham striker Enner Valencia will probably lead the line. Brighton fans will probably have a keen eye on Moses Caicedo. Estupinian, their left back. But other than that, Ecuador.
They're a young
They'll,
team.
they'll finish bottom.
They're a young team. They did well in the CONMEBOL qualifying too, which I think they've got a chance to surprise, especially if Mane is hurt. We hope he plays because we want to see that Van Dijk and Mane matchup. But it's up in the air right now. I'm most looking forward to Group E, and that's just because of two teams in there, Spain and Germany. I think that they play 7 p.m. or 19 o'clock, as you Brits like to say, next Sunday, or this coming Sunday, and that's going to be probably the match of the entire group stage that I'm most looking forward to. Two of the best midfields in the world going at it. I know my good friend Kieran doesn't think Pedri's very good. I rate him as one of the best players in the world. So I think Spain-Germany is going to be, the most exciting match. And then I just love watching Japan play football. I think, they come into every tournament with some household names, some guys that people might not know, but they don't sacrifice their playing style when they enter a big tournament. They're going to press high. They're going to try and possess the football. And Costa Rica is just, the most CONCACAF team out there. They're going to play a low 5 block, try and make it ugly. Keylor Navas, what color will his hair be? It's going to be a fascinating group there. But I think Spain and Germany expected to go out on to advance, but who finishes first, who finishes second could mean a lot when you get to the round of 16. Okay, next question, and we've been debating this a little bit before getting on camera. What should the name be? Should it be the James Rodriguez Award? I'm calling it, who is going to win the Alexander Golovin Award? Which player from this tournament's World Cup stock is going to skyrocket, either rightfully or wrongfully so, when we're all said and done in a month's time? Andrew, go first.
I'm going to go for Enzo Fernandez. He plays for Benfica, 21 years of age. He's been linked to Liverpool, Man United, Real Madrid. He's a phenomenal young talent. Just to give some stats for the Statman Daves out there, he averages 3.4 tackles per 90, 4.2 interceptions per 90. The stats are a little bit flawed because he does play in the Portuguese league, which is not the most competitive, but he will most likely start alongside Leandro Paredes and Rodrigo de Paul, and he is just an absolute dog. He's so quick, he's hard into a tackle, and he can just, he can really progress the ball through the midfield, and he's been pivotal in the Argentina team, who are now 36 games unbeaten, which is the longest streak currently for any club or country at the moment.
Yeah, and if Argentina are going to win the World Cup, Messi's not going to be able to do it all by himself. Yeah. He's going to need some help. I think whichever Argentinian can step up and provide that help's got a good shot at winning this award. Shout out Sports Gazette writer Alex Reed for the Statman Dave comments right there. Kieran, what about you? Who's your pick?
So I've gone for something a bit different. He's a 26-year-old, so he's quite a way into his career now, but it's called Daichi Kamada. I might have completely butchered that pronunciation, but he's a Japanese player. He plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. So far this season, he's got 7 goals and 3 assists in 13 games as an attacking midfielder, which is a pretty solid return. Arsenal fans might remember him because he scored a very, very good brace against them in the Europa League in 2020. He started the season valued at £19 million, so in today's market, that's pretty cheap. And I think, especially, we'll come to later, if Japan get out of that group and he plays well, he's going to be the star in that team, and I think his value could skyrocket.
Okay, excited to hear that later take. Kieran accused me of this being a lazy answer, a homer answer. I don't care. Yunus Musa, U.S. national team. Plays at Valencia right now. He rotates between right mid, sometimes right winger, primarily central midfielder. He's an absolute baller. I don't think the world quite knows his pedigree yet. He starts for Valencia in La Liga. He's one of Valencia's key cogs. He's going to be, I think if USA are going to get out of the group, which I'm crossing my fingers, praying every night, it's going to be because of him. We have a severe lack of midfield players that can carry the ball from back to front. He's the one person that can do that, and he's going to get an opportunity to shine against England, on a big main night event. So I think Yunus Musa is the answer there. I think after this tournament, he came up in Arsenal's academy. He calls London his home. The English clubs are going to come circling for Mr. Musa when we get all done. Okay, a fun question here. Which team will be the biggest surprise of the tournament? Let's switch it up. Kieran, you go first.
So yeah, carrying on the Japan theme, I have gone for Japan. I think they're such a good World Cup team. They give it their all. They I mean, last World Cup, was it last World Cup they surprised a few, got knocked out by Belgium in the last minute. That was tragic, but hopefully this World Cup they can do even better. They've got very attacking, fast wingers in Kubo and Ito, and they've got the Celtic legend might be a bit far, but Maeda up front. Also, obviously, Tomiyasu at the back, who's a more household name. But yeah, I think against Spain, who again I have an opinion on later, I think they could do a job and get out of the group, and I think that would be an incredible achievement if they did.
So let me just put you on the record here. You're saying Germany top, Japan second, or maybe flip flop those, but you think Japan get past Spain?
I think
putting Japan ahead of Spain.
Japan play Spain in the third game, and I think that'll be decided to see who goes through. And I think Japan have gotten beat.
Such a Pedri hater. All right, Kieran, who's your pick?
Andrew.
Sorry.
This is not an attempt to.
We'll edit that in post.
This is not an attempt to cozy up the presenter, but I've gone for USA.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think they've some key players who play at the highest level of the game. They've got Gio Reyna, Pulisic, Tyler Adams. He plays for Leeds, but yeah. But yeah, I think they have a really good chance. I think the golden ticket for USA is to get 4 points. I think if they can beat Wales or Iran and get a draw in one of the other games, I think they're fine. They're going to finish second. Should they finish second and formalities take their place, they'll play Netherlands, who I think are very beatable. You mentioned earlier that obviously they have a top class defence, but going forward they're not the same as they used to be. They don't have the same, they don't have the Iron Robins, the Robin van Persies anymore, the Depay and Gakpo and Berghuis. They're not the same. But yeah, I think USA have a really good chance. Really good chance.
I love that.
Respect,
Thank you,
brother.
sir.
Respect.
Thank you. I'm gonna go for Croatia, which I know they made the World Cup final 4 years ago. So this
What's
might.
the surprise going to be?
But I think people are sleeping on them in the sense that 4 years ago was their run, a little bit older of a team. Modric 4 years older. They're not really expecting too much from Croatia. I think this team can make the semifinals again with that midfield. You replace Rakitic for Kovacic, who, we got that Chelsea bias. I actually prefer this version of Kovacic to 4 years ago Rakitic. Brozovic sitting in the middle or at the heart of that midfield. I just think that this Croatian team has the experience, and I think we're all sleeping on them a little too much, saying, they'll get out of the group, but not really a deep run. I think they could make a semifinal again if it all goes right. So
there's a lot of interesting dilemmas with them. Like they've no Mario Mandzukic anymore, so they've a kind of a lack of potency up top. But they've a top class centre back coming through in Greenwald for RB Leipzig. He's phenomenal talent. So yeah,
they're going to be organized. They're going to know their identity. I think in a knockout format, just get to the knockout round, and who knows what'll happen. What's wrong, Kieran? You don't like this opinion?
I don't think they're going to get that far.
All right, well, that's why it's the biggest. That's the biggest. That's the surprise of it all.
Exactly.
All right, which team will be the biggest disappointment of the tournament? And I'm going to start here because I think out of everyone here, I have the hottest take of this one, and I'm saying France is going to be the biggest disappointment, the defending champions of the World Cup. Here's a little stat for you: of the past 5 World Cups, only one team has won more than one. Only one defending champion has won more than one game the next World Cup, and that was Brazil in 2006. So I think France, they're in a very weak group, so I expect them to get out of the group. But I really think they're going to miss that midfield duo of Kanté and Pogba. I could see get out of the group just like and then lose in the round of 16, just as they did in the Euros 2 years ago. Kieran, most disappointing team.
I've gone for Spain.
Of course you have.
No surprise there.
I think the expectations on this Spanish side is unbelievable. Really, they've got a very good midfield. I didn't say that Pedri is a bad player. I said he's overrated. I said he's overrated.
Semantics, man. Whatever. All right,
He was
continue.
given the best young player in the world. I don't think that's true at all. But anyway, there's a reliance. I think Spanish fans and Spain lovers have a reliance on a 20-year-old in Pedri, and I think you can never rely on someone that young in a World Cup. They've got no superstars in the squad apart from that. I mean, Rodri and Koke and Gavi and Pedri obviously is a very strong midfield, but up front they're shocking. Ferran Torres is average. Alvaro Morata, as a Chelsea fan, I hate him. Pablo Sarabia, I don't know that much about him, but he plays in the Portuguese league, I think. So, I mean, nothing special in that front three.
He's back at PSG.
Oh, is he back at PSG?
You've really stacked your disappointment and surprise together there, which I respect because it's risky. If one doesn't happen, the other's not going to happen. But you could be, both right.
I'm doubling up on
You're
being
doubling
right,
up.
and my Golovin Awards is in Japan, so
True.
I'm gonna hit all three. You'll see.
Okay. All right, Andrew, the biggest disappointment of the World Cup coming
So
up.
this was a tough one for me. So just to partially mirror what Kieran's just said, I was gonna go for Spain just because most of their attackers don't regular play for their club. Mm-hmm. They played a friendly against Switzerland at home in Spain, and was the first game they lost in 38 games at home. So that was a big shock to Spanish fans. So that's a big worry. But in recent days, Ronaldo has spoken to the media. As most of you may have seen, he's had a bit of spat with his teammates, Dallo and Fernandes in particular. So I've gone for Portugal. I think there's going to be a rift in the camp. I don't think they're going to have the same cohesion as they initially did. And I honestly think, bit of bias here from what I'm wearing, but I think Diogo Jota is going to be a huge miss for Portugal. Huge miss.
Yeah.
He was pivotal to their attack. Ronaldo is not the same player as he used to be as a goal threat internationally. I thought Jota was huge for them, but unfortunately he misses out.
And I would like just to their group: Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, South Korea.
Yeah.
Not an easy group.
Not an easy
and
group.
then they better finish first in that group, otherwise they're going to get Brazil in the round of 16.
Yeah.
So if they slip up to either Uruguay, Ghana, South Korea, and finish second, they're going to have arguably the most difficult matchup in the round of 16. Yeah. So good shout there. I like that.
Uruguay have got a fantastic team this year. I think
They do. They have a fantastic team.
That was that sarcasm?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's hard to tell. Okay.
Yeah, could not tell. All right, who will be the player of the tournament? And let's combine these two. Who will be the player of the tournament, and who is your pick to win the World Cup?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm going double Argentina. I'm going Lionel Messi and Argentina to win the World Cup. I think it's his last big tournament. They've got a good team. He's got a good team around him. I mean, he's had good teams around him before, but this is his last chance to win a World Cup realistically. And I think he's at the top of his game at the moment. PSG had a slightly off season last season, but this season so far he's been absolutely fantastic. And I think he's going to tear this World Cup apart. He's going to give it everything he's got. This is one last ride for Lionel Messi on the international stage, and this is his moment.
All right, and Andrew, what's your pick?
Yeah, so I thought it was initially going to be Portugal, but again with the Ronaldo thing, it's not going to happen. So yeah, Argentina and Lionel Messi.
You guys are going for the fairy tale ending.
I just think one of the big dogs has to win it. I mean, you look at the Argentina team; they will fight tooth and sword for Lionel Messi. They'll lay down their life for him. I just don't think the Portuguese team have the same sort of commitment to Ronaldo. He is the marquee player. He is the motivation that they need, but the camp is completely disjointed at the moment. But I'm going to go with Argentina. I wouldn't be surprised actually if someone like Di Maria became player of the tournament. He got player of the tournament in the Copa America, and he scored the winning goal against Brazil in the final. He always turns up when he plays internationally. But I'm going to go Lionel Messi in Argentina.
I think if Argentina win, like Messi could play his worst World Cup of his life, and he still would be given player of the tournament. It's just exactly. Like one of those things.
Yeah.
And for all the controversy surrounding this World Cup, the Qataris would love a Lionel Messi victory to kind of signify, his place in world football. And you could not talk about Lionel Messi without talking about the Qatar World Cup.
It would be an absolutely successful event.
It is. I'm not buying the fairy tale ending. I'm too bruised, and hoping for these kinds of things, these kinds of magical endings that all the fans want. I'll believe it when I see it. Player of the tournament for me, Pedri. I'm just doing this mainly to spite Kieran, I think, but I think this guy is. I like Spain to make a deep run, and I think he's at 20 years old is clearly their best player. I think he's going to be the best midfielder in the tournament. He's going to control possession. He's shockingly good at defense for his size, I think. half of this is to spite here, but I do believe in Pedri as a world-class player and someone that's capable of lifting Spain in the same way that like an Andres Iniesta could, you know.
He's 20.
Can I just ask one question? Do you think Spain have to win the World Cup in order for Pedri to get player of the tournament? Or do you think if Spain get to the quarterfinal semis, he will have done enough at that stage to warrant getting player of the tournament?
I don't think they're going to win the World Cup, so I guess I have to answer no. I don't think they have to win the World Cup.
Luka Modric won it in...
and they made the final. That is my biggest concern with this pick is I don't know how far Spain can get because my World Cup winner is Brazil, and if in my bracket pool thing that I filled out, they're going to match up in the quarterfinals. And you know, if Brazil win their group, Spain win their group. But anyway, I'm taking Brazil to win the World Cup. I think their depth is astronomical this year. Neymar is, you know, Messi, Neymar, they're arguably the two best players in the world right now. I think that, you know, when you thought about this Brazilian team over the years, you think about the David Luiz horror show where it was 7-1 Germany. Last World Cup, them losing to a Belgium team that they were definitely more talented than, but Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne kind of took that game over. I'm thinking that this is Brazil's time with Neymar, Vinicius Jr., Casemiro, Thiago Silva's glory days are here at the ripe age of 38, I think. 38. So Brazil is my pick to win the World Cup. But I think one thing we can all agree on, based off our picks, a Brazil-Argentina final would be delightful. Delightful as a neutral.
Can that happen in the...
I'm not sure. I think we'd have to get one of them not winning their group, but even a semifinal, just those two teams matching up at this World Cup would be a dream scenario. So, but that's it.
Neymar did an interview the other day, and he said he's dreaming of playing against Lionel Messi in the World Cup finals. So you never know.
You know, I'm dreaming of making $1 million off this video, and that's probably not going to happen. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Any final thoughts before we go? Any hot takes from Kieran?
Not much has been said about England.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't said anything about England. Before we go, Kieran, what are your expectations for England?
I think they'll get out of the group, maybe make it to the quarters. I don't have huge expectations, but also Qatar is a horrendous regime.
All right, on that note, thank you for watching so much. Had a lot of fun. Be sure to follow along all day today. Like I said, the Sports Gazette will be covering Iran, England, and the Wales-USA match, and all of Group B's happenings today. We'll have a lot of written social media and video content for you. Everyone have a great day.